In this video, I'm going to walk you through 8 simple steps to sell your online course or online training programs. Most resources or even courses on how to sell your online course focus their strategy on various platforms and places that you can set up your course for sale. But just like any business, it takes more than just placing your products on the shelves. You need to have a way to get eyeballs on them. So the strategy that I'm going to walk you through is not focused on just selling your online course, but it's focused on building an audience around your online course or training programs. Why? Well, because if you're only focusing on coming up with ways to sell your online course, you might get lucky here and there and sell a few enrollments. But if you build an audience, now you have a business. Now you can build a business model to sell all kinds of online courses and training programs at different price points. So that's what we're going to walk through together. Step 1, get to know your ideal buyers. Everyone is not your ideal customer. If your message is too general, it'll get tossed aside or disregarded. Choosing a specific target audience as your ideal customer will help you focus your message just for them. So if you're after connecting and engaging with your potential customers in an authentic way, you must appeal directly to their needs or solve their specific problems. One of the fastest and easiest ways to get you there is to get super clear on what specific problems your training program solves or what desired outcome your training offers. Then find out who would benefit most from that desired outcome. Bingo! Now you found your ideal audience. That brings us to step 2, which is define your process. Let's take a look at a big picture here. You have a training course that you know will help your ideal audience, the ones that we defined in a previous step. In an ideal world where everything would be simple, you could just put that online course in front of this ideal audience and that would be the end of that. But we live in a world, especially in the last decade, where there is just tremendous amount of noise. Add to that, thanks to all the platforms at our fingertips allowing us to show up online really easy, now you have a lot of people also competing for your ideal audience's attention. And if you want to be the one who stands out and gets noticed by your ideal buyer, then you need to get really creative and find ways to cut through the clutter and cut through the noise. So the rest of the steps are all about that strategy. First order of the business is to make sure you have a good way to communicate what it is that you sell and how it will benefit them. Now, most people think that if they just tell their ideal buyers what's inside their online course and how much amazing content is inside of it, that's enough to sell their online course like hotcakes. Truth is, your ideal buyers absolutely don't care about all the wonderful content that you're teaching inside your online course. All they care about is how your online course will change their lives, or how it will get them to their desired outcome, or how it will get them out of their current predicament. Your job is to find a way to communicate how your online course will do just that. So how do you go about doing it? Very simple. All you have to do is show them. And you can easily achieve that by outlining a step-by-step list of how your online course would lead them from their current stuck state to their desired outcome. Basically, what you're doing is listing every single step that you'll be taking them through to give them that desired outcome that you're promising them. Ultimately, this list becomes your unique process of getting results for your customers. Now, if you take the time up front to outline this process, you outshine and outperform 80% of your peers in your niche trying to sell the same online course or online training programs, because many business owners talk all day long about the features and the benefits of their products. When you take a different approach and outline your process of how you're going to get them there, to get them to their desired outcome, you're clearly separating yourself from all your competitors who are doing the exact opposite. Now we're at step 3, create exceptional content. You need to find a non-threatening and non-salesy way to get your brand and your course in front of your ideal buyers. And one of the best ways to do that is using specific and intentionally created pieces of content. Now, the reason I did this with intentional is because many businesses know that content marketing is one of the best ways to get their brand and their offer in front of their ideal audience. But the approach they take is anything but intentional. Majority take a random approach, thinking that as long as they just pump out a big volume of content, That's enough to get them noticed by their ideal buyers. Look, the only thing that you'll do with that type of content marketing strategy is creating more work for yourself. A simple way to get you there is to create content strategy that is tied to the core topic that you're teaching inside your online course. And you can accomplish that by choosing 3 to 5 items from your process, the work that you just did in the last step, step 2, and turn each of them into unique content pieces. Preferably, you want to pick them from the beginning of your process. This can be an article, a video, a podcast. The format doesn't matter, and there's just so many different formats that you can choose from. Now, another way, which is even a more ideal way, is to look at where your ideal audience is currently at before they take your online course, and brainstorm on things like, what are they struggling with right now? What are their beliefs? What's keeping them stuck? What's standing in their way? And create content around those type of topics. For example, let's say that your training is on how to use essential oils to remove depression and anxiety. So ask yourself, what are they experiencing before they get to you? What are they struggling with right now? What do they need to know to be ready to take your online course and get results from it? So those are all great content pieces that you can create. But one thing to keep in mind is that the goal of this content is not to throw information at them. This content is about giving them insight, giving them aha moments, helping them see things from your point of view. If you take this approach, you have an easier time converting them from browsers of your content to paying customers. Now let's talk about step 4, which is call them to action. You've spent the time to create these amazing pieces of content, right? But you don't want to just create content for the sake of creating it. Now that you've taken the time to put all these pieces together, you can't just leave them up to chance that your ideal audience will love your content so much that they'll look around for ways to work with you and then eventually end up on your course landing page and buy your course. You need to be the one who's leading them down that path and showing them the way. Every piece of content that you create should have a call to action. It could be as simple as getting them to check out other topics that's related to that piece of content they just consumed, or perhaps taking what they've learned to the next level by enrolling in your course, or better yet, check out other free resources or free offers. Which brings me to the next step. Step 5, know the value of free. From the marketing standpoint, statistics shows that on average, it takes 7 interactions between you and your prospects until they're ready to buy from you. So in the last step, we also talked about how every piece of content you create should have a call to action. So we're going to feed 2 birds with 1 stone here by using this call to action to create an opportunity for more interactions with your ideal audience. And a simple way to do that is by offering them a free incentive. And in exchange for this free gift, this free incentive, asking them to join your email list. This free incentive is called a lead magnet. And by getting them onto your email list, you now have an easy and direct access to make those 7 and so many more interactions happen. So if you're after generating consistent revenue from selling your online course, you should allocate a portion of your attention and time on building your email list. But here's one thing to consider. You don't want just anybody on your email list. You want the people who are your ideal buyers to be on your list, people who are interested or eager to buy your online course. When you get your target audience on your email list, that means you're gonna have higher open rates, higher conversions, and overall an audience who's interested and eager and waiting to hear what you have to sell. Now, if you need help with this, be sure to check out my free training program on how to build a targeted pre-launch email list. That brings us to step 6, which is engage with your audience. You've followed all the steps so far. Your ideal buyers are loving your free content. They've grabbed your free offer. They've joined your list. Now what? Now, majority of people follow one of these approaches. They either jump in and start selling from the very first email, which is the worst thing you could do. If you take this approach, you'll come across as a pushy salesperson who's only after their wallet. Or they're too afraid to sell anything because they work so hard to get those leads on their list, and the last thing they want to do is offend their new subscribers and have them hit that formidable unsubscribe button. So they keep on sending one information-packed email after another. This approach is also going to backfire on you because you're going to end up in the friend zone. And with every email you send, you're going to make it harder and harder for yourself to turn the subscribers to buyers. What you need is a balance of both, nurturing and selling in every single email. I want you to keep in mind that anywhere between 30 to 40% of your ideal audience wants to take the next step with you. They want and are looking for a solution to their problem. That's why they're there. And it's your job not to leave them hanging and invite them to take the next step to solve their problem or getting them to that desired outcome. So this balance of nurture and sell definitely works, but as long as you don't do it in a way that's going to turn them off or make them feel like you're only after their wallet. Remember, nobody wants to be sold to, but they love to be understood and they're open to opportunities to buy things that'll help them get to their desired outcome. Now, if you need help with creating a balanced email sequence, balance of nurture and selling, I do have a free 13-part email template that you can grab below, walking you through each email. Just fill in the blank and you should have a high converting email sequence ready to go in no time. Okay, let's talk about step 7. Create a compelling brand story. When you put together your course sales landing page, use that opportunity to help your prospects get to know you better and trust you over all the other people who are selling the same training. How do you do that? Well, by telling your story. You can draw your audience with your unique voice and perspective by sharing your story, your message, or what you stand for. What motivated you to create this training program? How did your life journey bring you to this point to create this training? What type of customers find value in taking this course? Write 3 to 4 authentic main points to connect with your ideal buyers and give them reasons to care. And when you do that, don't be afraid to show your personality. It's your little quirks and personality traits that make you different from anybody else in your world, in your industry. These differences will set you apart from all your competitors. All right, let's talk about the last step, which is expand your reach. If you're new and you don't have a strong online or offline presence, customers will likely wonder about whether or not they can trust you to deliver what you're promising them. By aligning yourself with an established expert that already has the trust of its customers, you can shorten your time to market. So what you need to do is find people who are followed by your target audience, but they're not your direct competitors, and offer them mutually beneficial opportunities to partner with them. This works really well, as I mentioned, if they already have an established audience and your online course provides a solution to their audience that's not in their area of expertise to offer to them. For example, if you're a copywriter, you can offer your copywriting training to someone who's a branding coach or a website developer. Now, this type of partnerships are really easy to find and are mutually beneficial to both parties, as well as one of the fastest ways to get in front of your ideal prospects. But there are 2 crucial things to consider when you're reaching out to these folks. Number 1, remember that they worked really hard to build their audience. So they want to make sure that what you're offering is valuable to their audience. So when you reach out, start by telling them how this partnership is going to help their audience. And the second thing is, let them know what's in it for them. Are you going to give them a referral fee in exchange for having them promote your course? Look, I can't tell you how many collaboration request emails or DMs I get every single week, and it's all one-sided, right? Basically, they're asking me to promote their offers to my audience, and that's it. That's the end of the request. Do you know what I do with those messages? Delete. All right, there you have it. 8 steps to selling online courses. Thank you for watching this video, and I wish you lots of success with your course creation business.